right? What's happening, winners and whiners? Family out there, it's me, Detroit Lenny, joined Scott Reichel. How's it going, Scott Reichel?
They're doing pretty well. Can't complain. A lot of games to cover on the card, actually, so it should be pretty fun.
A decent amount, let me tell you. And I'm all discombobulated. It's been a day, so it's been a whatever. How was your week last week, though? How'd your college football week shake up at the end of the day?
Overall, it was okay. I mean, of course, the play on the show last week didn't exactly work out. Liberty, I'll tell you what. Do we get bonus points if they fired their head coach?
I feel like we should get a do-over, kind of like a mulligan, if you will, or something like that. But yeah, now that you mention it, I was gonna ease into it a little bit, but Liberty Flames,
they won the game. They just didn't cover.
Didn't work.
So.
They did. And I'll tell you what, for those of you with, I know Brian Gillihan, shout out to him if he's in the chat. He probably will be at some point. Text me, said something, but I don't know, in a parlay or something had Liberty going or whatever, and they barely squeaked out the money line parlay or something crazy.
I think the annoying part, though, even though Liberty wasn't really close to covering at any point in the game, the line closed at 16.5. So there was a lot of money that actually came in on Liberty before the game started. So once again, beat a line move didn't matter because Liberty no-showed the entire first half. So that team's not very good. It is what it is, but thought that they would look a bit sharper after what happened in the previous week. They looked good against Middle Tennessee State. Thought that would roll over. Didn't happen. UMass fired the coach after the game, so there's that, but that doesn't do us any good.
Yeah, but that doesn't do us any good at all. Speaking of some chat, I want to say hi to some guys. Sunny D's in the house. What up, Doe? Before we get going down this, glad to be back. What's happening? Don't forget, guys, if you're in the chat, like, share, subscribe, comment. It's virtual. It's interactive. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm old. I apologize if I sound like the old guy looking for the brightness on his phone. I am that guy. So it is what it is. Thursday night action. Don't forget, we're here every Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern. Go over action, except for next Thursday, Thanksgiving. We never actually finalize this, but
I know we initially planned on Tuesday.
Tuesday, you good with Tuesday? I'm good with Tuesday. You're good with Tuesday.
Yeah, it works for me.
All right, we won't be here next Thursday, so disregard the graphic at the bottom right now. But we will be here next week, Tuesday, to go over college football action because obviously Thanksgiving. We talked about the best bet recap. There's actually a game on Friday that I love this game.
Good game.
And do you love this game too?
I think it's a fun game. I'll watch it.
I think it's going to be a really good game. San Jose State and the Spartans at home taking on UNLV. Rebels -7.5. 60.5 is the total. I'm seeing possible rain, 60-degree rain ish. I don't know. I don't have anything.
60 degrees. Ooh, West Coast problem.
Ooh, it's West Coast football. 60 degrees and rainy. People will be out there in ponchos and hoodies and triple fat gooses, and taking it old school. But I mean, Rebels, they're 8-2. I mean, -7.5 though. I mean, San Jose State, I kind of lean points at home. I feel like it's an ugly, dirty 24-23 game.
I'm going to go with the points here. I see in the comment section, Sonny's mentioning that the game was close last year, ended up being a 68-point final there. San Jose State, it's a shame that for their sake they didn't cover last week because, damn, they were dominating Boise for the first about quarter, and then they eventually fell apart, and Boise eventually got the cover there. But I thought the team looked fine. Now, they can throw the ball around. They have Egate, a quarterback, who has a bunch of picks, but he has a lot of passing yards. I think that Chalk's good running back, and Nash is an insane wide receiver. As for UNLV, I think this team's very good. Now, the problem for UNLV is they are currently at the mercy of Colorado State because they need Colorado State to lose in order to actually make it to the conference title game. But UNLV is in must-win territory, obviously. They are ranked now. I think San Jose State, though, is being disrespected here. Yes, they lost by 21 to Boise. They had Boise on the ropes. Like, they went for it on, I think it was 4th and 1 at, like, the 5-yard line. They could have gone up 17. Like, they were
Yeah.
kind of dominating the first quarter and change at home, and now I feel like they're being a bit disrespected. I think UNLV is good. I think that this team is once again very solid. They scare me if I'm Boise State more than Colorado State does. But I'll take the points. I think it's a lot to be laying on the road, and I think you're looking at what should be a bit of a higher scoring game. I like the over. I think both teams are going to throw it around. I think they'll be able to generate some points, but I just think at home on a Friday night game, it's a lot of points to be laying. I'll go with UNLV to win, but probably not cover. Give me UNLV by 4.
That's fair. I like the points here. I like I like more the side here than anything. I don't know if I get to the total. I just don't know if I get into the 30s with either team.
I'm
And
not
then
going to
you
bet the
factor
total.
in that West Coast weather, and that's sarcasm, folks. Bazinga, for my Big Bang Theory fans. But I'm gonna go. I can't get on a total either way, but I love San Jose here, and I got them in teasers with some stuff for Saturday as well, up over almost the 2 touchdowns. I think San Jose. Do you think there's in any world San Jose wins this outright?
I think they can. I mean, there's no reason for me to think
I
that
know you said like
UNLV's.
UNLV by 4, but like I
I think
just
it's
think
going to be a
they're a
close
live
game. Like,
dog.
I have one
Yeah,
possession game late, but UNLV, when you factor in the fact that they tend to play in solid environments based on them playing in a dome, I think that playing
right.
outdoors can always be a bit of a dangerous proposition for them. Beat San Diego State. I mean, they're not any good. Barely beat Hawaii. Hawaii is not any good. Lost to Boise. Beat Oregon State by 8. That game was a bit controversial late. Potential penalty in the end zone that wasn't called. Give up 34 to Utah State. Like, this team's good, but I don't think that they are significantly better than the San Jose State team. So I think that definitely an upset's possible. I'm not going to tell you that UNLV is guaranteed to win this game. And they do, but I'm not going to pick them to blow them out.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, we're going that route. Let's keep this moving here. Indiana and the Hoosiers, not basketball, football. On the road, taking on Ohio State and the Buckeyes. Buckeyes minus 12, total 51.5. Actually, I see this now at minus 10. I'm sorry, the 12 was earlier when I did this. This line's already dropped down to maybe I don't know. Either way, it's at 10. Shop your books, shop your lines. Either way, I think this is too many points. Indiana 10-0. I don't want to put no misconceptions out there. Like, I think the Hoosiers have a snowball's chance in hell at winning this game. But I think Ohio State wins 7 to 10 range. Now that it's at 10, I probably wouldn't take it. But I like 12. You can get 11 still out there at FanDuel right now.
Yeah, I think for me, the main issue that people have with Indiana, which is why you have a massive divide again with the playoff committee, etc., is that Indiana's undefeated, but they haven't played anybody. Like, that's really the main problem, because you're going through the actual schedule here. Michigan's not very good. Michigan State, no offense, not any good. Washington's not good. Nebraska's not good. I mean, Washington's fine. You get my point. Nebraska might not make a bowl game. Northwestern's not good. Maryland's not good. Charlotte's not good. UCLA is not good. Western Illinois is not an FBS team. And FIU's terrible. So, yes, they are 10-0. They haven't played anybody, so I understand why people are a bit harsh towards them. I hope they win the game. I'll put it that way. Now, for the actual spread, Ohio State does have offensive line issues. Their starting center officially got ruled out for the season, which might be why the line moved. They've had multiple offensive line injuries for the entire season. They've had to mix and match the actual offensive line to figure it out. Now you're missing your starting center. So that might be why the line's moving, because they might have a hard time actually winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, at least for their own standards. You'd assume up front, Ohio State should dominate the actual trenches. Maybe not so much in this game with all the injuries. So I'm actually going to take the points. I'm probably not going to bet it, but I like the under in this game. I feel like people are going to blindly take the over because of Indiana with Rourke and with Ohio State's firepower. But Ohio State has given up less than 18 points in 4 straight games. Indiana offensively is still solid, but I think that you're looking at a game that might feature a bit more ball control late. I can see Ohio State turning it into like the Penn State finale, where in the last drive or two, you're killing off 4 minutes. You're not trying to score. You're just trying to move the chains and end the game. I can see that happening. But I think that with the offensive line concerns, I'm not picking Ohio State to light it up. But I think that Indiana offensively is going to struggle because Ohio State's defense is really, really good. So give me an under. Give me Ohio State. I'll go with 27-20.
Okay. I like the under too. I didn't bet the under, but I did bet the Hoosiers. I took the points. I did bet that. Like I said, I got it higher than the 10 it's at now, 10 and a half.
Yeah,
But
people focus so much on skill position players like quarterbacks and wide receivers and running backs. You have enough offensive line injuries, you got to talk about it because Ohio
got
State,
you. It
when
all
you're thinking,
starts there.
when the main argument is Ohio State should dominate with all the athletes they have, that's great. They got to win the battle up front to actually buy Howard time in the pocket. And I feel like
Yeah.
that could be an underrated potential concern for this game. That was an issue against Nebraska. That game was very close late. They almost lost that game. They've had issues protecting for the entire season. And now they're down another guy. So Indiana, if they generate enough pressure in the backfield, they can make this very interesting.
Okay.
I'm not picking them to win, but I do think it's going to be a closer game than people think.
I think that's a touchdown game. That's why I took the points.
I said 27-20. So yeah, it's
yeah,
right.
yeah. I like that. Wake Forest, Demon Deacons, all-time classic game. Miami minus 25, 24 and a half. Shop your lines. The Hurricanes hosting, total 66 and a half. Wake Forest is bad. Miami's good. I mean, they're 9-1, 5-1 in the conference. Coming off that Georgia Tech, I don't know. That was just a weird game last week. 28-23 loss, but
2 weeks ago, but close enough.
Or 2 weeks ago. This is too many points though, even though Wake Forest is really, really bad.
I agree with you. I think it's too many points. Miami defensively can't stop anybody. So why would I want to lay north of 3 touchdowns with a team that basically hands out 20 to any team with a pulse? You have 28 to Georgia Tech, 31 to Duke. They ended up covering that game in a miracle, but Duke offensively is not great. They beat Florida State. They didn't cover this against Florida State. Florida State stinks. They won the game by 22. Give up 45 to Louisville. Give up 38 to California. Like, this team can't stop anybody. I'm not laying 25. I know they're off a bye. I get that might help them out. I like the over in this game. I can't take an under with Miami playing, but there's no way with a team that did not cover this against California and 45 to Louisville. I'm not picking you to win by basically 4 touchdowns. You have 31 to Duke. Duke's fine. Offensively, they're not great. Manny Diaz is more of a defensive-minded coach, and the defense has been good. But defensively, Miami's got serious issues. I'll take the points. I'll go with the over.
Yeah, I'll get behind the over because I could see both teams scoring 30s easily. You know, I think Wake Forest gets in 20.
I think Wake Forest team total could be potentially interesting in this game, maybe.
Let me look at it. I just had it open too. Let me take a look at it real quick while I have it open. I have it up. Team total is at 20 and a half on Pinnacle.
I think 3 touchdowns is realistic. They give 31 to Duke. I think Wake Forest can throw the ball around a bit.
That's yeah.
Team total, to be honest.
I don't hate that either. I would ride with that too, but I love the over here. I think Miami could potentially score 50.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this game could be like a 54 to 24 game. It could very well be that, but I'm not putting any faith at aside. I'm just riding with the over. Ole Miss and the Rebels on the road taking on Florida and the Gators hosting, total 55 and a half. Rebels by a lot here. But Florida's just quietly sucking. I don't want to say quietly. It's just that they're 5-5. They're 3-4 in the conference. I can't pick them at home, even though I want to plus 10 points. I won't take the points. I won't take the points, but I feel like they're trying to trap me into taking the points.
I think I am going to take the points. As Sonny said, Florida's unpredictable. I agree. That's why I think it's a lot of points, because you might end up getting a decent game out of them. The thing for Ole Miss, though, they're ranked number 9. They just beat Georgia. They had a bye week the week after. Is this a letdown spot?
Yes.
Probably. It probably is. You just beat Georgia by 18 points at home. Like, I think that it's a pretty good letdown 100%.
Spot. Yeah.
Florida had a nice win against LSU. Shout out to Brian Kelly and what his disastrous coaching has been doing this season. But nice win for Florida. I think Florida's not bad. They're not a good team by any means. They have a very tough schedule in the SEC. They're 5-5, so they're still going for a bowl game. But it's Florida, and you're looking at the fact that it is senior night. It's the last game in the swamp for the season.
For the bowl.
It's not the easiest environment to go into. I've said it before. Weird things happen in the swamp. It's not. I'm not the first person to say that, but people know it's true.
Not.
I think this game could get interesting. I think Florida might have a shot to actually win the game. It would be pretty Lane Kiffin on brand if they found a way to blow this game after beating Georgia the game prior. I'll go with Florida. I think they keep this game close. I'll go conservative. Give me Ole Miss by 7. But going into the Swamp on senior night is not the easiest spot to be laying double digits. I'll take the points.
It's just a lot of points. And you shop your lines. You can find 11.5 out there at ESPN Bet.
It's being bet up. I'd wait on it potentially, but we know with this environment, it's also going to be it's actually a noon game. It's not a night game.
Yeah.
Senior night in Florida, though, it's a pretty tough place to play. I'll go Florida to keep this game close.
I love Florida in a teaser. I do love it because you could take them over 2 touchdowns. And you're right. Weird stuff
and happens. And a field goal, maybe. Like if you get 11.5, you can tease it up to 17.5.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You get way up over there. I mean,
besides 2 touchdowns, you get 2 touchdowns and a field goal.
2 touchdowns and a field goal. Yeah. And you're right. Weird things happen in the Swamp. Oh, but man, I don't know. I don't know. It seems too good to be true because it's a spot. It's a spot, and I like Florida there. SMU and the Mustangs -9.5, traveling to Virginia, total 57.5. I don't like this game at all. I don't like this game. Virginia feels weird. SMU, I just have not been on the right side of betting either with them or against them all year. So it's a solid no for me.
I think I'm going to go SMU, but only because I think Virginia's not very good. Virginia beat Pitt in a nice win there, but that's the only win they've had in the last month. So they have not exactly been playing good football. Notre Dame killed them last week. I believe they covered through a touchdown at the last second, but they got buried the entire game. Beat Pitt. Lost to North Carolina at home by 27. Lost to Clemson by 17. Lost to Louisville. So once again, they're 1-4 in their last 5. SMU had a bit of a scare last week against Boston College. They won the game anyway. But I do think that SMU right now is in great form. They are currently 6-0 in conference play, and Clemson and Miami are behind them with 1 loss. So there is still a chance SMU could miss the AC title game in theory. So the games still matter. Like SMU needs to actually make it to the conference title game. So it's not going to be like they're looking ahead because there aren't much to look ahead to. Because you kind of have to win out here if you want to actually make it to the playoff. So you have California up next. I don't see them looking ahead to that game too. SMU, I think, is the better team. I think Virginia's just not very good. Simply put, I'll go with SMU -9.5. Game should be close for a bit, but I just think SMU has too much firepower. And defensively, they didn't have it last week against Boston College. I can see them looking a bit sharper. It felt like last week they were kind of playing with their food, and they finally got it going. I think they started off faster in this game. Give me SMU.
Okay, fair enough.
Mostly Virginia being 1-4 in the last 5, though.
Yeah. Everything you say makes sense. For everything you said, I would bet SMU, but I just historically this year, it's not been there for me.
It might just be Virginia being 1-4 in their last 5. I just feel like the spread's a little bit too short.
Here's a weather alert here. It says winds will be gusting 30 to 48 miles an hour through the game in New Jersey. You're not going to get me to say Piscataway. I apologize. You're a New Yorker, so what's he saying?
Piscataway, but close enough.
See what he said. Love the under 47.5. What game are we talking about?
Well,
we're talking about this game. We're about to talk about Illinois in the Fighting Illini.
What a logo. I've never seen that Rutgers logo. That's nice.
Oh, that Rutgers logo is sick, isn't it?
Sick. It kind of looks like Northridge. There's a little bit of like a Northridge feel.
It reminds me of an Army logo. Kind of like Army. But yeah, it's a sick logo. I love it. I use it all the time.
Like a 1990s video game like style, like Doom. Like it's going for that type of vibe.
Bowl kind of as college. Yeah, for sure. This is a coin flip. 1.5, total 47.5.
I'm just gonna keep this up. That's all I need. That's all I need to really see. I like the under in the game. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. I have nothing else to add here. I think the game's gonna be hideous. I like the under anyway. I mean, Rutgers offensively has not been great. Defensively, they've had some injuries, but Illinois has been a classic Bielema team. I mean, you look at what they did earlier this season, and they had a great quarterback, and they were winning some games early. But recently, they've been fine. I'll put it that way. Like, they're 7-3. They're still ranked. Killed Michigan State, but we said before, not a great team. Scored 17 against Minnesota. Scored 9 against Oregon. Beat Michigan 21-7. I like the under anyway in the game. But this weather is disgusting. Like, Bielema and Schiano are going to be punting in plus territory because nobody can kick. When you're looking at the winds being 38-40, you can't kick in this damn game. So give me the under.
Pound and pound.
This screams pretty standard Big Ten football. 17-13, maybe even like 14-7. This game's going to be disgusting. Give me the under.
I was just going to say, both teams end in the teens. Both teams end.
I'm not even sure both teams get to the teens. Or
I'll say
one team might end up with like
a 13-17 game all day. You know,
I said 14-7. Yeah, that's about right.
There might be a safety, some weird. This game is definitely between the 30s.
I'm probably gonna have to bet that like today, because there's no way that line's gonna close at 47.5 with the weather. It's one of those games, or one thing you have to keep in mind for the college football totals. Just quickly, don't want to spend too much time on it.
Yeah.
The line moves pretty quickly when it comes to potential movement during the week, because you get a lot of sharp bettors looking at weather reports, etc. When you get into November and December, especially in the Midwest, or in this case, the Big Ten East Coast version, whatever you want to call it. Point is that weather's a factor, unless you're playing in, rainy California. Point is, though, I think you're looking at a spot where you might want to bet this sooner rather than later, because some people might get news of the weather report on like Friday or Saturday, and this line closes at like 45.5. This line might just plummet. So I would take it now before it moves, because I see if there's bad weather involved, you want to bet it quickly, because this line, I think, is going to plummet. Do we agree on that?
I agree. It gets under 45. If the weather stays how it's supposed to stay,
people are going to hear about it. They're going to start hearing reports about it, and as soon as one popular publication, Bleacher Report betting, any other platform, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be pouring rain out."
This number's going to
slam the under. So you want to get it quickly. It's like the NFL game tonight. It's supposed to be bad weather, not this bad. It's supposed to be bad in the Steelers and Browns game, and the total's been dropping all week. It opened up at 41.5. Now it's at 36.5. So once again, if you wait too long, you kind of miss the boat.
Fair enough. And listen, I'm a big proponent of betting your lines early and often. I do that a lot in the NFL. I know we're talking college now, and I don't want to spend too much time on that, like you said. But this line is going to drop. I think tomorrow. Obviously, weather stays the same and on track for Saturday. You're going to see tomorrow. By this time tomorrow, you'll see this line under 45.
It's also public based, because the public is so focused on Thursday Night Football in the NFL that they kind of push college football into the back of their minds. Once the NFL's over, you start diving into college football, they're like, "Oh, it's going to be pouring rain."
Strictly hard tomorrow. Yeah,
I know it sounds basic, but it's the public once again. The public are very basic and simple-minded. If they see NFL, they want to bet NFL first.
Not to mention, I mean, I know there's a lot of sharps and a lot of public. I mean, we go out on the World Wide Web, so our analysis and breakdown will probably drop this line down to 45 easily by ourselves.
I will take credit when it drops, even though I did nothing to help the total drop. But just saying, once you see the actual Twitter posts from publications about how bad the weather is, you see the pregame warm-up videos where the kicks are blowing 17 feet to the left. Right. Everyone wants the under. At that point, you missed out on the boat.
Yeah, for sure. This game, I don't have any. There's a couple games like this.
New coach. UMass, new coach.
You got. I mean, you're going to get behind that. You're going to say, "Hey, this is it." I mean, 42 is a lot. I don't care. I mean, your totals tells you everything you want to see here at 55 and 42. I mean, I don't have nothing to do with this game.
Yeah, I think I actually like the under in this game. I think Georgia goes up and coasts. I think you get to play it live. Georgia's going to go up 14-0, 21-0 in the first quarter. Then bet the under at like 60, and you're probably home free. UMass, I feel bad for the coach. I know it was a second stint. It was a horrible experience for everyone involved, but they lost last week to Liberty because the kicker missed a game-winning field goal and the extra point in overtime, and they fired the coach. That's pretty rough. Point is, though, Georgia shouldn't really allow anything from UMass in this game. UMass has two quarterbacks. They rotate. They're not any good, just being honest. They ran the ball down Liberty's throats. Not going to happen in this game. I think Georgia should cover. They really should if they care enough. I'm not sure they're going to care enough. That's the problem. And we mentioned this earlier this season because Georgia had a joke game in like the first or second game of the season against Tennessee Tech. Yeah. They won 48-3. So they covered barely. They didn't care. They actually did not cover that game against Tennessee Tech. I think they were laying 50 and change. I like the under. I think Kirby goes up and he coasts. It's the Nick Saban school of thought. You win the game, but you don't embarrass the opponent. You win by about 40. So I'll go with the under in this one, but I'm not going to bother.
I'll tell you what, I just looked like UMass's team total, 6.5 on Pinnacle.
I don't think they get there.
Yeah, I don't think they get there. That's what I'm saying. And it's juiced to the over at -115. whatever, it's minus 105 on the under. But I'll be honest with you, do you really think they get any kind of – that's straight up a gamble. That's throwing the dice and hoping for the best right there. But I don't
even know
want
what you're hoping for at that point. A big play and you just find a way to –
just an accident. Just
6.5 is an accident, but you might be able to actually find a middle on that. If you take the under 6.5 and they score none when the actual starters are in for Georgia, you might get a live 2.5. You might be able to middle that team total for like 3. That might be a possibility. Just saying.
Oh, that's interesting.
Tennessee Tech got 3.
By the way, who's watching this game to live bet it?
I'm just saying Tennessee Tech got the 3. That's all I'm saying. They did kick a field goal against Georgia. So I'll throw that out.
So there's history to support this. That I hear.
Support one field goal while going under the team total. Yes, there is some history for that. But I like the under. I think this total's too high.
It's another one. UTEP, man, talk about that. There's some bad teams. Say what you want about UMass and whatever, but UTEP is bad. Tennessee minus a bajillion, totals 52.5. Do you feel that same way about them? I mean, UTEP is UMass?
I would trust UTEP more if they were playing this game in a cave, but they're not. So the mining part won't help them. I think Tennessee is going to bury them. I mean, the issue you run into is not just the fact that Tennessee's more talented. They've not been great in conference play, at least for points, which is concerning for the spread. It's about the pace. Because Tennessee's going to go lightning fast, and if UTEP can't stay in front of anybody, this could turn into 35-0 at the half. Like, Tennessee is off a loss to Georgia in a game that I would say it was close for a decent portion, but it felt like they were a step behind Georgia for most of the game, at least from what I was watching.
Right.
Georgia figured it out, and Tennessee was just not as good as Georgia. It is what it is. It's a great spot to beat the crap out of this team, especially when you have Vandy on deck. You're not going to make the conference title game. You're not going to make the conference title game. You're ranked 11th. You need to win out to actually make it to the playoff.
Yeah.
Style points might matter a little bit. Assuming that Tennessee gets it going offensively, because they really have not been great offensively for the last month, this is a great game to do so. UTEP was underwhelming all year. They lost to an FCS team, I believe. I don't remember if they actually won or lost. I think they lost that game in overtime. I think Tennessee kills them. I actually kind of like the over. 52.5, Tennessee can get to 55. They play so fast. They might have multiple one-minute drives.
I like Tennessee. If anything, I get on Tennessee first half.
Tennessee might have
23, 24.
Tennessee might have multiple 1-minute 70-yard touchdown drives. Like, that's a possibility in this game. They might be up 35-0 at the half. I'll go with Tennessee. I'll go with the over. For Tennessee's sake, I hope they score 56-plus points.
Yeah, they could very easily cover the overall by themselves. Kentucky and Texas. Texas, damn near 3 touchdown favorites at home. Total 46.5. I don't know. I don't trust Texas to blow this to cover this kind of lead.
Well, how good is Texas? Kind of point. I got to talk about this because Texas, I got to mention, because they've been viewed as a top 3 team basically the entire season. Rightfully so. We know that they're very talented. You have a couple quarterbacks who could start in any team in the country. Your defense is solid. You're 9-1. Having said that, who have you beaten? Like, I'm reading off Texas' schedule for a second. Beat Arkansas by 10 on the road. I know Arkansas is a tough place to play. Tennessee lost to them already this season, but you get my point. 20 points against Arkansas, and Arkansas is 5-5. Not great. Beat Florida. Beat Vandy. Lost to Georgia. Beat Oklahoma. They stink. Beat Mississippi State, beat UL Monroe, beat UTSA, beat Michigan, who are horrible, and beat Colorado State. They haven't beaten anybody. Like, their best win this season is arguably against Vandy. No offense to Vandy. They're 6-4. They've had a great year for their own standards.
Right.
Who has Texas beaten? They've beaten anybody.
Nobody.
So, I don't know how good this team is.
That's what I'm saying. This is too many points. I'm not saying Kentucky is a dog here in any way, shape, or form, but I feel like Kentucky can get 20.
I don't know if they can.
You know what I mean?
I don't know if they can get to 20, to be honest. They scored 18 against Tennessee, 10 against Auburn, 20 against Florida, 13 against Vandy. I don't know if they can get to 20. I'm not a Vandergrift guy, but I do think their defense is not bad, and I think Texas' defense is really good. I got the under. I think 46.5 is a bit high. Kentucky might score 10 points. You might see Texas score 20, win like they did against Arkansas last week. You win. It's unimpressive. Who cares? You're going to the conference title game anyway. There are no style points because when you're looking at the actual new form of the bracket, Texas is getting in. As long as they don't
Yeah.
lose, they're fine. They don't care about
Yeah.
margin. So give me Texas to win, not to cover though. I go Texas by 17, but I'll go with the under in this game. Kentucky, I just think Texas' defense is great. Kentucky's defense is good enough to not let Texas explode for 40-plus points. This game could finish 35-10. Like, that's realistic too, and the game still goes under. Give me the under in this game.
That's fine. Brian Gillihan says you can't lay that many points with the Horns. Ends up in a blowout. Horns D is legit. I think they are, but I think Kentucky is going to backdoor into some points. And I do like the under. And which kind of plays, I would take the points here in this matchup if I was betting the side. I don't hate the under though, if that makes sense. Probably not, but either way. Penn State and Minnesota, Nittany Lions minus 11.5 on the road, total of 45. This is a game I think Minnesota gets up for a little bit. I don't know why, but I think this is too many points. But this is
because of Penn State. You're waiting for James Franklin to do something stupid. Let's be real.
Yes, I am. But I think this will hold my nose and take the 11.5. If this is at 10, I don't like it. You know what I mean? I just think I like the points here. But it is a plug your nose and wait kind of situation. What are your thoughts?
I mean, to be honest, I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole.
I know it's so dirty.
I think for this game, I probably am going to go Penn State, but I'm not going to bet it. I'll go under, I guess. Kind of the same argument as the Texas game. Penn State's defense is really good. Minnesota, whether you like their offense or not, probably not. They still drain a bunch of clock. Like, we know what Minnesota wants to do with Fleck. Drain clock, row the boat on the way to about 5 losses per season. Point is, though, they like to drain a lot of clock, and I think Penn State will be able to shut down this offense. I'm not a Brosmer guy, but Minnesota only scored 19 against Rutgers on the road last game. Penn State, I think they're going to go up. They'll coast. I don't think they'll really care. If Minnesota scored less than 10 points, would you be that shocked? You'd be a bit surprised, but probably not as surprised as other people would be.
No, I think they get,
I think Penn State's defense is really good.
Penn State going to throw 30 on them?
No, my point is, though, for Minnesota offensively, like, if you think that Penn State's defense is really, really good, if Minnesota drags the total down by themselves, if Minnesota finishes with like 13 points and they single-handedly drag the total down, would you be that shocked? Probably not.
No. Yeah,
give me Penn State 27-13.
I was going to say like 24-17.
Okay. So once again, we like the under. You're going
we like the under. Yeah, I was trying to get to a score, but yeah, I kind of like that. I think this is a plug my nose kind of game. I don't think Minnesota's going to need 2 scores at the end of this game to win.
Not 2 scores, 2 touchdowns.
Huh?
2 touchdowns, not 2 scores.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, exactly. And they'll get 1 touchdown, but you know what I mean? They won't get the other. BYU, Arizona State, Sun Devils -3, total 48.5. BYU 9-1, 6-1, rolling. Arizona State is quietly.
Well, BYU's not rolling. They were, and then they ended up.
They were rolling.
They lost to Kansas last week. So
powerhouse, the Jayhawks.
I'm so salty, by the way. I had Retzlaff over 1.5 passing touchdowns, and he had 1, and he didn't have another one for the rest of the year.
It was such a nasty game, but
awful.
Arizona State quietly 5-2, 8 in the conference, 8-2 overall.
I like their team a lot.
Right behind Colorado and BYU. And their record's not horrible. I mean, by any means. I think Arizona State here. I kind of want to lay the points at home.
I do. Yeah, I'm with Sonny here. BYU had a great run, lost to Kansas. They had the worst clock management and situational awareness imaginable.
So
they ran the option. Was it a damn like speed option to the short side of the field on like I'm like, what do you? They threw 1 pass in like a set of 4 downs, and they got down the field by throwing. The whole thing made no sense. BYU blew that entire scenario. But the point is, I think BYU might implode. Like, you're looking at a spot of what they were playing for. They shot at the playoff. In theory, they still do. If they win the conference, then maybe they'll get in anyway. But
Kansas is going to look bad for a while.
It will, but I'm just saying, because right now they're ranked
Yeah.
14th, which could make the argument if they win the conference, they might get in anyway. In fact, I think they automatically get in if they win the conference. So they're not dead, but I think Arizona State's good. I liked them last week against Kansas State. I think
Yeah.
Levitt's a good quarterback. I think Scadaba's a very good running back. The defense has been fine. BYU, I don't know how good this team actually is, and I feel like it's extremely harsh because they were 9-0. But watching Retzlaff with the offense and how Kansas took care of them, I don't say easily, but Kansas looked pretty good against them, and they won the game. It wasn't a fluky loss for BYU. I don't think they're that impressive. I think Arizona State might be the better team. I'll go with Arizona State at home.
I don't mind laying the points at home here with Arizona State.
The crowd environment's going to be great, by the way, for this game.
Right. I think this is, this is going to be West Coast weather here, right here. This is 75 and sunny at 3:30 in the afternoon. This is going to be great weather, and I think the Devils. I don't hate the over. I think the Devils kind of get into the 30s here. I think they put it on them. And I really like Arizona State here minus the points. This game here, I have opinions on this one too. Colorado, the Buffaloes, -3 coming up, are playing those Kansas Jayhawks, who just beat BYU, who are riding high. Total 59.5. How does Colorado not win this game by double digits?
They should. The only argument is if Kansas could actually move the ball against this team well enough. But Kansas has been playing better. I'll give them props. Took a while for Leopold to get the guys going this season, but they have been playing better lately. This spread is too short. This is, in my opinion, the trappiest spread of the entire card because Colorado should kill this team. They really should.
I don't understand why it's like this.
Yeah. With the passing attack, with Sanders, with Travis Hunter, with all the weapons they have, and even defensively, they've been better as the season has gone on. Colorado's a better team. Now, if Colorado lost this game, would I be shocked? I wouldn't be that shocked because the line is very trappy. But last week, I liked Kansas plus the points against BYU. Mostly because BYU I just wasn't impressed with for the last couple games. I have been impressed by Colorado. They've been winning comfortably. They've been very good. Offensively, they've been very solid. I still don't trust the decision-making by Kansas offensively. A lot of really dumb turnovers, which might come back to bite them. I'll go Colorado. I think they win this game by 10+.
Yeah, I think Colorado wins by double digits here as well. And I'll tell you what, I was not the guy. I was one of those guys at the beginning of the year. I was not a fan of Colorado. I had their win total. I didn't bet it, but if I was a futures guy, I would have took their win total under. They're at 8-2 and they're 6-1 in their conference. They have been winning, and they've been winning rather impressively. I think they put it on Kansas. I'll lay the points here. I think this is a double-digit win by Colorado.
It's not fluky. This team's actually good.
Yeah, Brian Gillihan should be a good game, but I'm on the buff. The slipper fell off. ASU -3. Yeah. I like Colorado here. How about this? The Citadel and Clemson -49.5. Total 58.5. I this is a solid no. You can't get me on anything. Maybe I'll take the 50 with the Citadel for no reason other than it's 50.
Oh, boy. I got to look up the football history because I know that they've played before. Clemson won the last game 49-0. If you want to hear a good joke, it was in 2020. Do you want to guess what the score was at halftime in the 49-0 win that Clemson had?
49-0.
That is correct. They scored 0 points in the entire second half. That is 100%
I knew
correct.
nothing about that game. How about that, boys and girls?
Clemson was up 49-0 and decided, you know what, we're good, and didn't score again for the entire rest of the game. Now, Clemson beat Pittsburgh.
Out my nose there. That was a good one.
They beat Pittsburgh barely because Klubnik had the massive run late. Narduzzi had Narduzzi things late, and Pitt blew a game they probably should have won. However, do I think Clemson cares? No. Not at all. I see a pretty similar story here. Give me maybe they'll run it up, but I doubt it personally. I kind of see 49-0 again, to be honest. And Clemson's defense has not been as good as it was good last week, but it has been occasionally, I'd say, spotty at times. Maybe Citadel kicks a field goal in this game, maybe.
Right.
But I think 49-0 is actually pretty realistic here. And Clemson offensive line-wise has not been great. They ended up having a lot of issues protecting Klubnik last week. I think they'll go up early. They'll bench everyone. Give me Clemson 45-0.
This is the nastiest thing about this is the hook will matter here at 49.
It might matter.
And this will be a sweat for you this will be a sweat. I mean, I'll probably pizza money just because as a joke while I'm watching this, honestly because of the show. This is a $5 bet.
I would have live bet it again. All these high totals, just wait till the team that's favored goes up 2 touchdowns in the first quarter and then bet it.
And I like the under.
Yeah.
I like the under.
It's the same story for all these games, unless you're like actually trying to embarrass the other school. You go up by like 2-3 touchdowns early. You're up by 30 at the half. The live spread's like 50 and change, and you don't cover.
Right, exactly. What did the Citadel ever do to you? So there's no reason to,
You're paying the Citadel to be here. And the Citadel also, they have they're military connected?
Yes. They're 5 and 6.
You're going to run up on the troops? Come on. It's so disrespectful. You can't do that.
In November, that's like, Veterans Day month, kind of thing.
Yeah. You're going to run it up on the troops? Come on, man.
Yeah,
it's so disrespectful to run up on the troops like that.
It's. I'll tell you what, you don't win no karma awards there. 49-0 Clemson. Wofford and the Terriers.
What are we doing here?
I don't know.
They let you get away with this nonsense every year. It's got to stop.
I don't understand. It's South Carolina, 42.5 in the total of 49.5. Why? Like, hey, but I almost didn't make this graphic at the bottom. But let me just tell you, the Wofford Terrier logo. It's classic.
It is.
It's just it's class. It's just like it's a cut above. You know what I mean?
I like their college basketball team for some years. They made the tournament once or twice.
Sure. Yeah, for sure though. But South Carolina, 18th ranked in the country, 7-3, and Wofford is on their schedule late in the year.
I mean,
what are we doing?
What are we doing here? This is just
what are we doing? I found this line only at FanDuel too, by the way. Only FanDuel will let you degenerately bet on this game.
Well, speaking of the Citadel, by the way, Wofford lost them by 13 points last week, so probably not a good sign.
I just looked at it; just popped up for me too.
I have no interest. If you want my prediction, South Carolina by shutout. I don't know how many points they're going to score, but this defensive line is going to kill this damn team. I think South Carolina can name the score. I'll go under. Give me South Carolina getting bored and winning this game like 42-0.
If I could somehow, some way bet like if there was like a Wofford team total or something, there's maybe you could degenerately find a prop that Wofford gets shut out. I would get on that. I would just, again, pizza money type stuff.
South Carolina plays Clemson next week though, so who cares? We're focused on the game next week anyway. They'll pull everybody, though. I don't think they're going to cover. It might be close, but once again, 42-0, 38-0 You have Clemson on deck. You're not going to try to burn all your guys. Same thing with Clemson against the Citadel. There's no point.
No point. How about this one, though? Missouri, Mississippi State, Tigers minus 7.5, 57.5. I couldn't get there on this game. I couldn't get there. I want to take Missouri here, but I just couldn't get there.
I think I am going to go with Missouri.
Yeah.
I feel great about it, but Brady Cook's alive. He played last week. That counts for something. I said before, South Carolina's defense is good. They scored 30 points. Now, 30 points against South Carolina is pretty good because Mississippi State has the worst defense in the entire SEC. So I think that they can score. The thing is, Mississippi State's offense can be okay with Van Buren at quarterback. So they can also score as well. I have no interest, but I think I'm going to go Missouri. I think they're the better team.
Yeah, I want to go Missouri, but I don't. Like I said, I couldn't get there. I just don't have a whole lot of. I didn't have a whole lot of ambition to run to the window for that one, to be honest with you. But this next game, I already know that you like Notre Dame here because we talked about this last week. And let's see this logo. See this logo for Army.
It's a great logo too.
Exactly. See where you get the Rutgers, like the comparison there. I like the Army here. But the Irish minus 14.5. Playing in the Bronx, or not again, I shouldn't say. They're playing in Yankee Stadium, right? This is your home turf. You got boots on the ground for this game or what?
I'm not going.
All right, fair enough.
I'd go if I thought Army had a chance to win.
Listen, I'm taking the 14.5.
I'm rooting for you. I can't do it.
Oh my God, I can't. No, they don't have a chance. And at the beginning,
I've said this before, but I'll say it again.
They had a chance.
I'll say it before, but I'll say this again. If you are Army or Navy, Please stop scheduling Notre Dame on your schedule.
Oh,
You never
God,
beat them.
bless
You
it.
never beat them. It's an automatic loss on your schedule every time you play them. Just stop it. Please.
You do it to yourselves every damn year.
You never
and
beat
you know
this
what? At the
team.
beginning of the year, Army, we were talking Army, Navy. Oh my God, this that Notre Dame game or whatever.
They might be undefeated, and then Notre Dame just kicked the crap out of
and
Navy. And it's like,
Notre
all right,
Dame just told everybody to shut up. I'm on the points here. I'll take the points. I see a lot of 14s out here, but I'm gonna take the 14.5. I'm gonna take the points. I'll be honest.
I'm just going Navy.
I'll probably take the over.
I'm going with Notre Dame. They beat Navy 51-14. I can't. Army scored 20 against Air Force. Yes, their quarterback didn't play. I'll give him a pass because Daly was out. You scored 14 against North Texas. North Texas, they give up 40 plus points to UTSA. I can't do it. I think Notre Dame's going to dominate up front. They always do. They're going to kill this damn team. I'm going to hate every second of this. But I think Notre Dame wins by 20 plus. Give me Notre Dame.
Oh, I'm on the over.
Beat the triple
I am on the over. I am on the over though, so I figure if I lose the Army bet, the over will cancel that out because Notre Dame will run it out.
They scored 14 against North Texas. I can't
tell you everything you need to know, right?
I think North Texas is one of the worst defenses in the entire country, and they kept Army in check.
A couple bad weeks.
I'll go Notre Dame once again. They might drop 30 or 40 in theory. Give me Notre Dame winning this game 35 to, you know what? I'll be generous. 35-17. I hate it. Stop scheduling Notre Dame on your damn schedules, man. You lose every time.
Right, Gillahan's on the Irish too. We'll run through the chat here.
I hate Notre Dame, but it is what it is. I got to tell it how it is.
God, I can't do it. Boise State and Wyoming. Boise minus 23. Over under 57.5. Man, you talk about Wyoming you talk about bad teams in Air Force. You mentioned Hawaii. Wyoming,
bad.
Right along down there. They're a bad team. Does it matter that it's in Laramie?
I actually might take the points here.
Because it's a lot.
I mean, I'm looking at Wyoming's losses, and they've actually been
not by that much, right?
They don't get blown out by a ton. I'll put it that way. Now, they haven't played many great teams, but they keep some games close. My argument for Boise, or against Boise in this case, you're 6-0. You basically clinched a spot. You clinched a spot in your conference title game already. You play Oregon State next week. You have to win out. It's the only thing that matters. Style points do absolutely nothing to help you. If you win out and you're only lost a close game to number 1 ranked Oregon, you're getting in.
You're getting in.
Nobody cares. Boise played with their foot against San Jose State. They eventually got it going. I'll take the points in Laramie. It's a lot of points for a team that really does not care about style points. I'll go with Wyoming.
They don't need them. They don't need them. You're going to plug your nose with this one. Boise
and once again, they already
touchdowns.
clinched a spot in the conference title game, so they don't even have anything to gain in the short term for this matchup.
I wouldn't be opposed to a Boise first half, and
they should show up in the first half, but they might pull Genty in the third quarter. That's a possibility.
Exactly. I don't hate the first half either way, but Alabama, Oklahoma tied 2 touchdown favorite, total 47.5. Alabama here 8-2. Oklahoma wants to have they just want to hurry up, move to next year at 5-5.
Yep.
Alabama should roll here by double digits. What your thoughts?
They should, but I don't know. This one looks
a little bit trappy. I don't know.
Looks a little trappier. Now, Oklahoma's been better lately, kind of, question mark. Lost to Missouri on whatever the hell that ending was with the fumble touchdown at the end. Bama should win by 14 plus. Oklahoma's a tough place to play. Bama's been coasting. It's tough to ignore it. Oklahoma's off the bye, though. I think I have to go Bama.
Yeah.
I can't look myself in the mirror and take Jackson Arnold in this offense plus the points. I just can't do it. I'll go Bama.
I stayed away ultimately.
I'm not betting it, but whatever.
I just I don't like it. It looks real weird. I think Alabama should roll, but I didn't get nowhere near this. Texas A&M and the Aggies minus 2.5 against the Auburn Tigers here. total 46.5. Texas A&M still fighting to get in to the college football playoffs. Auburn's done. Do they put up a fight here?
I'm just saying, don't look now. A&M, if they went out here, they're in the
I know
conference title
they're
game.
alive.
They're in the conference title game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I like A&M here. I'm on A&M. I think, and they need style points, in my opinion.
Well, I don't know if they actually do, because if they win the conference, they automatically get in.
Yeah, but it could be close to Texas. I don't know. They should beat Texas if they on a neutral field right now. Texas A&M, Texas. I think they'd beat Texas.
I'm taking Texas personally. I think Texas is better than A&M, but I think for this game, you know what? I'll get weird with it. The spread is so short. This is one of the sketchiest spreads of the entire card because they're laying 2.5 against a 4-6 team. However, Auburn does have their senior day, and it is going to be a night game. It's also going to be in Jordan-Hare. Pretty tough tournament. Now, I know that I kind of just ignored it with Oklahoma. That team sucks anyway. Auburn, they're not good. They can still make a bowl game if they win out. Is it going to happen? No. It's got to be Bama next week. But I think for this one, I'm going to go Auburn. I'll be different here. I need at least one upset on my card. It makes me feel better about myself. Give me Auburn. This line is trappy enough for me to be swayed by it.
So nasty.
Give me Auburn and Jordan-Hare. The line's way too sketchy for me. I'll go Auburn.
I can't do it. Texas A&M all day. But I get it. There's some weird stuff's going to happen, and why not this game? Last one on the card before we get to our best bet. Iowa State Cyclones -7. Utah 41.5. Utah not having a season they wish they had. 4-6, 1-6 in the conference. Iowa State, I don't think they have a shot at the Big 12.
They don't. They're behind BYU, Colorado, and Arizona State.
Right. I was pulling up right now.
Unless complete Armageddon happens, they have no chance.
Right. Yeah, I don't like this number.
I'm going Utah money line.
Yeah?
This is a spot which makes no sense on paper because Utah has lost a bunch of games in a row. They've been really, really bad. They've lost 6 straight games. However, they do have a good home field in general. It's a night game. It's mostly me kind of expecting a Matt Campbell implosion here. Iowa State beat Cincinnati. They lost to Kansas on the road. I'm looking at the road games this season, and they have been fine, but I don't know. This might be another spot where I'm picking things to get a bit weird later in the night. I thought Utah looked okay against Colorado. I understand if you want to take Utah, if you want to take Iowa State, I get it. Utah sucks. Right. 7's a lot to lay in this overall stadium, even for a bad Utah team. I'll be weird. Give me a Matt Campbell implosion. I'll go with Utah money line to be different.
I couldn't get behind
I might be the only person, by the way, on a show that's talking about Utah right now positively.
I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't be opposed to Utah in a teaser because I see some 7.5s out there or 7s, but I mean, I'd take it over 10 in a teaser, like to push it over there in a 6-point teaser.
I'm being different. I'll go chalk by day. I'll go dogs by night. Give me Utah and give me Auburn.
Day, dogs by night. If you don't have that on a t-shirt, what are you doing?
Give me Utah and Auburn to make it interesting.
Fair enough. This is the best. It's our best bet here in this matchup here. Air Force and the Falcons on the road taking on Nevada and the Wolfpack. Wolfpack -3.5, total 44.5. In Reno, Nevada, and some West Coast weather. Well, northern Nevada
that
weather.
Counts.
40 degrees.
There's a desert somewhere around
rainy.
There.
Yeah. What are your thoughts here? I don't want to take this away, but I mean, this is easy money for me. I thought I
like the line a lot in this spot. I feel like once again, Air Force, a team we backed earlier this season, they did not go over the team total against Colorado State. In hindsight, Colorado State undefeated in conference play. Like we might have just picked the wrong spot for Air Force there in hindsight. Air Force though was 1-7. Randomly though, they've been good lately. They've won 2 straight games, so they've actually looked pretty good. They scored 36 points against Fresno. They won 28-0 against Oregon State. This team's not that bad now. Like I said, Air Force is a young team earlier this season. A lot of inexperience. They'd get better as the year went on. They've been good lately. Nevada, not so much. We're going to go with Air Force plus the 3.5 in this game. Feels like it is a pretty solid line there. Nevada, though, especially lately, really bad against the run. So I think that's going to be the main concern here. Genty ran it down their throats. Colorado State ran it down their throats. Hawaii is a really bad team. They lost by 21. Hawaii's quarterback had 120 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. Hawaii, with Timmy Chang as the head coach, wants to throw it a lot. Hawaii had 242 rushing yards against this defense. I'll go with Air Force. They've played well lately. I like how they've been playing defensively. They can run it down their throats, but mostly Air Force has won 2 straight games. They won by a shutout against Oregon State last game. They're undervalued. I'm the wrong team's favored here. Nevada's not good either. So it's not like Nevada's way better than Air Force. They're not. They're arguably the same. And Nevada right now, I believe is, what are they, 0 in conference play? They're 0-5.
0-5, yeah.
They're 0-5 in conference play. You know what? We'll get weird with it. Air Force, they can win this game outright, but they've been good lately. Give us Air Force plus 3.5.
I will take Air Force all day. You can find that at plus 140, 145 to 135 on the money line. I like it plus 3.5. I like it in a teaser, every which way, shape, or form. I don't care that it's a bum fight. I don't care. I've watched a few good ones. I'm taking the Falcons plus the points in every which way, shape, or form. That's our best bet for week 13. Want to run through the chat, though. There are some questions here. Somebody asked about UCLA and USC. Thoughts on that matchup? I'm trying to pull up what I got here on that.
I know a lot of people love UCLA in that game. I know that that's been a pretty popular pick here. USC switched quarterbacks. They ended up winning last week against Nebraska. I said Nebraska's going to lose out and miss a bowl game, so we'll see what happens. 2 games left to go for Nebraska. We'll see what happens. But I think it's really tough for me. I think I am going to go points. I think it's a very close game. It's in state. These schools hate each other. We already know that. But is USC good? No. Is UCLA good? Not really. UCLA, though, has been better as the year's gone on. Garbers has been more tolerable. I'll use that as the word. I don't like him, but I don't hate him as much as I did about a month and a half ago. But I think it's going to be a close game no matter what. Give me the points.
Yeah, I'll take the points. But I'm not running to the window here. I just think this is they're both mediocre at this point. Both teams are just like whatever.
They're basically the same, so I'll take the points.
Exactly. I think BYU fairly tail reached midnight last week. They lose by double digits. There you go. Slipper fell off. Should be a good game. Brian Gillihan's on the bluff. South Carolina can score and will probably cover. And he's also on Missouri.
Once again, South Carolina does play Clemson next week. There's no reason for them to care about Wofford. Like I don't care enough, to be honest.
That's
all fair. These games I'm not betting. If they go up 14-0 though in the first 5 minutes, then maybe I'll live bet like the under or the dog. Maybe.
That's fair. Never on Utah. I'll probably just pass. He hasn't bet it, but Utah outright win. There you go.
It feels like Iowa State once again is just a team that they have a good record and all, but I'm just not overly impressed by that team for some reason.
I don't think they're as good as the record.
I'll put it this way: when you compare them to the other teams in the conference in the Big 12, with the Colorado, the BYU, the Arizona State, etc., I think they're worse than those teams. So.
Fair enough. That's going to cover your Week 13 Top 25 breakdown. College Capper breakdown. Scott Rochelle and I. You got anything you want to plug? What do they look for this weekend? You got anything going on? Don't forget, like, share, subscribe as well to the YouTube channel, Winners and Whiners. Take it away.
Just remember, this graphic's a lie. We're back on Tuesday. I don't know what time we're going to be back on. We'll figure that out. Probably 7. Stay with the same time.
Yeah, I'll stay with the same time, 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll just switch Tuesday because of Thanksgiving. You don't want to see me at 7 o'clock on Thanksgiving. There'll already be 2-3 deep fried turkeys, and hopefully Lions will be 10-1 by then.
Well, I do want to ask you before I forget, though, because I was going to ask you some Thanksgiving stuff. Unless you want to save it for next week. How exactly do you like your Thanksgiving meal? Like, what is your go-to, I'd say, type of what's your favorite side dish? We'll go with that.
Green bean casserole, by far.
Okay. I like that choice. I'm a mac and cheese guy.
Solid. Yeah. My mother's green bean casserole, which has now been passed down recipe-wise to my wife. Yeah, it's good. I like it that way.
I have to ask, though, white meat or dark meat?
I don't matter.
Okay.
Don't really care. I prefer day of white. Next day dark. Like on a hot turkey
I
sandwich.
actually love that answer because I'm a day of white meat guy too.
Yeah,
That's a
day
great
of
answer.
white.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
really good answer.
yeah, right. Day of white. That's a true fat guy moment
That's
right
a
here.
great answer, though. I love that
And
answer.
by the way, I deep fry my turkeys. And this
Well, I was
year,
going to ask you how you like the turkey, but then you said
yeah,
fried.
we'll
So
talk more about this Tuesday for sure because
Yeah.
I deep fry this year. I'll be deep frying 2 turkeys. One I'm trying in this new one. I just do in the traditional peanut oil, but one I'm doing in bacon grease. And it's going to be different. And I don't know. I like a deep fried turkey, white meat during the day for day of, dark meat on those hot turkey sandwiches next day. But stuffing is a solid runner-up side dish for me.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
think
could
that's
just give me a
definitely up
plate
there.
of turkey, maybe a roll, stuffing, and green bean casserole, and I'm a fat kid.
For me, I'm a sucker for pasta, so I will always go
anything
mac and
pasta.
cheese. So yeah.
White sauce, red sauce. I don't care. I just want pasta.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Fair enough. We'll talk more about this. Be prepared next Tuesday, folks. There'll be a poll in the chat. Favorite side dish. And for those of you that vote cranberry, tune off. Just hit the like button and then log out. I'll talk to you guys next week. Good luck unless you're against us. We'll see you guys Tuesday, 7 o'clock Eastern.